Texas students. I'm Roseanne Parry. I'm the author of A Wolf Called Wander, and I am talking to you on the Sunday after Christmas from the Mount Hood National Forest. Mount Hood is the mountain that is closest to me in Portland, and it was called Wyeast by the people who lived here before Oregon was a state, people who still live here and are our neighbors to this day. I wanted to talk to you from Mount Hood today because the Mount Hood National Forest is the home to the newest wolf pack in Oregon. And so I wanted to show you just a little bit of the beautiful place that they have to live.
How did you first learn of OR7, the wolf upon which the story is based?
I first heard about Oregon 7 on the news. It was a time when wolves were relatively new to Oregon, and nobody had ever seen a wolf disperse from his pack and go so far. And so it was really exciting to realize how far they could run. And it was especially exciting to see that he found a mate after months and months of searching and thousands of miles of running. And it was such a good story. I thought, oh, I should write a book about that. There's plenty of bad news about the environment. And so I was really excited to find a story of resilience to write about.
Your biography mentions that you are from a large family. Are there similarities between your family and Wander's wolf pack?
So like the wolf in my story, I come from a big family. And we just recently celebrated my mother-in-law's 90th birthday party. All 12 of her children and their spouses came, and many of their children and many of their grandchildren came. So it was a huge gathering. And one of the things that I love about having a big family is that if I'm worried about something, there's always somebody to talk to. If I have a problem that seems too big to solve on my own, I don't have to solve it on my own. There are people who are right there and ready and eager to help me. And I have been grateful for that all my life. I'm a braver, I think, and stronger person because I have a family to help me, just as wolves are braver and stronger when they're together.
The raven guides Wander through much of his journey. Who has guided you throughout your life?
In my story, A Wolf Called Wander, Wander has a raven friend that works with him and helps him on his journey. And one of the reasons I chose that relationship is that wolves and ravens do work together cooperatively in their hunting. And sometimes the raven is called the wolf bird, and ravens live in packs like wolves do, so they have lots of things in common. In my own life, I think I've been really grateful for the guidance of the Holy Spirit. I've been very lucky to have pretty awesome parents who guided me when I was young, and who even now I have lunch with every week. It's one of my favorite things. But I will say that my best friend my whole life long has been my husband, Bill. We were lucky enough to meet in college, and we just celebrated our 30th anniversary this year. And he is the one who built the treehouse that I write in, and who supports me in my writing and in raising our 4 children. And so I've been very lucky and happy to have him at my side all this time.
What stills your wag?
There are 2 things that have been on my mind a lot recently. And one of them is refugees. Wander is a refugee of a kind. War came to his home ground, and he ran away. Just as many people over many centuries have found war and trouble come to their homeland and have left and gone to another country. And those people are important to me, refugees of all kinds. And I think their care matters. I think keeping refugees' families together matter. And when I see harm come to refugees, I am sad indeed. The other thing that's on my mind, and I'm thinking of it because I can hear water running behind me. One of the things that makes this forest possible is lots and lots of cold, clean water. And the other thing that worries me is global warming. Because every place in the world, not just the forest, but every place in the world, is threatened by it. And so that does worry me indeed. On the other hand, this year Greta Thunberg was the Times Person of the Year. one person, not very much older than you, who made her voice heard and made a difference. And here's the thing about global warming. It's not like there's one big solution. There's 1,000 things that every single one of us can do to use less energy and reuse what we already have and recycle what we must let go of.
What advice do you have for young writers?
I am in some ways the least likely writer ever. And here's the reason. I am terrible at spelling. I always have been. I cannot definitively tell you where the comma goes. Also, people do not agree about where the comma goes. And that is something that has always made me a little crabby about writing. So, I was not a particularly good writer when I was a young person. I think the reason that I'm a writer now is that I have loved stories always and made them up always, in my head mostly when I was younger. It took a long while before I was willing to write them down. But I do know this about people who have achieved something in the arts. It's not the most talented beginner who makes it in the end. In my experience, it's always been not the one with the most talent, but the one who loved it the most. Loved it enough to practice it all the time and work at it and care about doing it well, that leads to achievement in the end. So whatever art you're interested in practicing, whether it's music or writing or some other art entirely, it's not the talent that matters as much as the practice, as much as loving it enough to do it all the time. And so don't give up, I guess, to sum it up in one thing. Stick with it. If you love it, you'll be a good writer in time.